Welcome back, brothers, tourists, and ladies, to another episode of The Chapter House, the Old Glory Club's look into the men and chapters that make up the Old Glory Club. Joining us tonight is the Order of Aquilifers from central Pennsylvania, and the representatives of such are, starting to my right, Mr. Mellon. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Happy to see you again, Mr. NotMeNotYou.
Yeah, likewise, brother. You make the rounds in our circles, so I'm sure people are already familiar with your melon and your hat, though you will never live down the burden chat being convinced that you are, in fact, a woman.
It's
So,
over.
and my favorite Old Glory Club member for the name alone, Mr. Sloppy Joe Stalin. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Yeah, it always makes me giggle whenever somebody reads out that name for a super chat. And last but certainly not least, peering at us behind the shades of baseness, Mr. Payload. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. Honored to be here tonight.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you for certain. So just kicking this off, I've driven through Central PA a lot, but I've never really stopped to get to know the people of Aquilifer territory, as it were. Could you guys let us know? Is the Aquilifer, is that a reference to the Romans? Are we sticking with the Chuds can't not talk about Romans thing? Can you let us know where that name comes from?
It is true. You can't go very long without talking about Rome. But our namesake actually comes from the state capital of Pennsylvania. There is Harrisburg, the state capital. There's a statue on the roof of our Capitol building, and it's traditionally called Commonwealth. And the woman figure is she's bearing a eagle, and the Roman legions, their eagle bearers, were Aquilifers. So we decided to take our namesake in honor of our state capital and the statue on the roof of it.
Well, that's really cool. It's not really that based that a woman would be the Aquilifer, but I guess it's Lady Columbia, or it is in my headcanon. So I'm totally down with that. And I'm glad that you mentioned that Harrisburg is the capital of Pennsylvania, because I am absolutely certain that nobody outside of Pennsylvania actually knows that. So you guys have been with us. That is, you guys received your charter earlier this year, in spring, if I'm not mistaken. How was it getting the chapter together?
Well, I'll jump into that. So our first meetup was January 2025, and we were really helped out by the Delaware Crossing Society. They really helped organize us. At that first meetup in central Pennsylvania, we had 4 of our 5 founding members. And then by April, that's whenever we were officially voted in to OGC Central. So we kind of had like a little bit of a figuring out period. We realized that Mellon would be able to be our 5th founding member, and it's just been great ever since then.
Yeah, it's great that the boys from the city of brotherly love could come together and give you guys a hand. Now, what kind of aid did they render? They help you with the organizational process, or what was it like getting to know those boys?
Well, so it was actually the Delaware Crossing public meetup that they did at Valley Forge was actually my first OGC event. And if they hadn't done that, I'm not sure I ever would have really been ready to take that first step. It just was a great timing where, we were motivated. It was right around election time, and we were all being told that, now it's now or never. I remember some really fiery speeches from Paul Fahrenheit saying, you don't want to miss out on the starting point. And so the the great leaders of DCS realized that, you know, maybe there were some guys in Central PA a little far to be going to Philadelphia, and they helped kind of shuttle us off into our own network of correspondences that, you know, they were there for the initial meetup, and then they kind of put the ball in our court and said, if you guys are ready to run with it, you guys can run with it.
That's great. So the guys that you had coming together to found this thing, did you guys know each other previously, or was it kind of through the OGC that you came together?
No, I hadn't met any of them. Two of them were at the Philadelphia Valley Forge event, but I did not meet them there.
So this was sort of it kind of coalesced over time, just when you figured out that you guys were close to each other.
Yep, the boys in Delaware Crossing, they kind of figured it out. You know, they were having a lot of guys reaching out, a lot of interested parties. I know that there were also some Pittsburgh guys who went to that first one, but Pittsburgh managed to beat us a little bit when they formed their chapter. But it was a friendly rivalry. I don't hold it against them.
Yeah, I mean, they only beat you by a couple of months, but also, and you know, we'll talk about this later, but I am reliably told that there is a certain mountain that they wish to claim for themselves. But like I said, we'll get to that later. So since you guys have started, how's the recruitment process in Central PA, Ben? And this is the most important question that I know is on everyone's mind. Do you have any Amish?
Yes. We have a lot of them in the south part of the state. And
have they joined the Order of Aquilifers?
No. So we have to understand about the Amish is they view us as an out group. They call us the English, in case anyone doesn't know this. But they have this massive, I guess if this was an RPG, this would be like their racial ability. They all look the same and they all have almost the same name. So it's almost impossible to arrest them and convict them of something. So for that reason, the reason South Pennsylvania is not covered in solar panels is because of the Amish. They just go in and destroy them. They hack up all it's literally like the Ents. They go in and hack up all the cables. They destroy the security cameras, and they can't do anything about it because they all look the same.
That is that is so unbelievably based. I mean, I know that they're like a parallel society already, so maybe they don't need to be a part of the OGC. But man, I'd love some barn raisers in the Order of Aquilifers.
Well, we'll see what happens. But the Amish aren't perfect. They do some things we would view as like underhanded, but the Amish Mafia is probably the only reason Central Pennsylvania isn't covered in housing developments. They will just show up at auctions that are, especially in North Central where I'm at, with millions of dollars in cash, which is totally illegal. I don't know how they get it there. You can't like drive. You're not supposed to drive around with $1 million in cash. But they do this, and I've heard anecdotes of it from people I trust and know, like farmers. And they just outbid these people, and they make sure it stays farmland. So we owe, and probably they're the reason they went for Trump in 2016 as well. So we owe a lot to them, even if they view us as the English, as they would say.
Well, I mean, that's great. I'm glad that we have natural allies in the Amish, even if they aren't aware of it. I'm sure sending them some gift baskets every time one of those things crops up in the news couldn't hurt. But getting back to what we were talking about, how's chapter growth been in Central PA?
It's been very good, very steady and consistent. We've definitely had to be selective. There's been some spurgs or perhaps bad actors. You can't say for sure. I was listening to last week. I don't think we have the danger of the Washington D.C. elites coming up here. So I don't think there's been any infiltration attempts. But there have certainly been definitely some suspicious ones trying to get in, and we've just kind of had to ignore them. But overall, outside of I think one one person that was at a public meetup that pretty much showed up in I don't know, like sweatpants or something, and it's kind of a strict rule for us to be business casual at minimum at our meetups. But generally, yeah, we're over 10 members now, not even a year old, and everyone that has joined has been awesome. We still have some prospects waiting to become full-fledged members, but yeah, Central PA's great place to be.
Yeah, like I said, when I've driven through there, it's all rolling hills, and it's very pretty in the summer. So why don't you tell us about Central PA a bit? You've already mentioned the based Amish, but you know, Pennsylvania is a country unto itself. It has sheets, which, alas for the Bucky's boys, I consider to be far superior.
It's better.
And older.
You know what else? It's
Yeah.
better than Wawa. If any of you DCS guys are watching, it's better than Wawa. Everybody knows it. Wawa, get out. Sheets is better.
Wawa is starting to make inroads in our area now.
We're gonna have to.
There is a Wawa.
You know,
about 10 minutes away.
If you guys remember, the Biden DOJ sued Sheets because they required criminal background checks and they wouldn't hire felons, so they sued them.
I remember that. Yeah.
That under civil rights law because they weren't hiring enough blacks. I submit to you that this was a Wawa conspiracy to try to
I hadn't even thought of this.
The monopoly of Sheets.
We have another one as well called Rudders, and we also have Turkey Hills as well. So these are like 3 and 4. They're the ones that kind of nobody talks about, but they're very similar.
Yeah, there are every region's got those sorts of things, but those sheets, man, they really are a cultural staple. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting off on my my gas station fetish here. Central PA, rolling hills, beautiful land, and the based blonde-haired Amish. What else does Central PA have to offer?
Well, just a point on the whole rolling hills thing. There's still a lot of areas of Pennsylvania that are very isolated from each other. So in North Central, which is the most rural part, and I'm the only guy from it here, I think, there's still like a clan structure that would be identifiable to people in the South, probably, where like it's a whole little area that's all the same name or the same like 3 names. And because of that, they all back each other up, and it's hard. It's like a hillbilly mafia. It's hard for outsiders to get in there and buy things up, which is good and bad at the same time. It means that you don't have entire areas swallowed up by property developers and like crappy strip malls with fake brick on them, which unfortunately is happening in the South. Also, there's only one interstate that cuts through the top part of the northern part of the state, which is I-80, and everything above I-80 is like off the map, like nobody goes there. So there's a lot of land, and we're getting a lot of refugees from New York and New Jersey because of that, which you probably know
is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, because there's people who will flee these areas once they start getting bad, and then just vote for all the same policies, but then there are those who are a little more based, and that's the reason they're getting out. Has there been a change in the electoral maps because of that?
At least where I'm at, you two from the South will have to chime in on this. It's still dominated by boomer Tea Party guys from the Obama era. So there are new arrivals who are buying big McMansions, but I don't think they're like politically active that much. And I think they're voting red. I'm not sure about that though. They're sort of contained for now, and they're all heritage American, so it could be way worse.
Well, I can say I can say that with certainty. With the last election was kind of a total wipeout for the Republican Party in my area. So Yeah, the demographics are not looking good where I'm at, so I'm trying to get a little bit of distance between myself and that.
Yeah, if our producer could pull up the topographical map, we may have an explanation here. Yeah, okay. So you see all these mountains, you see where Harrisburg is in the green? This is where all the people who aren't supposed to be here can live and be imported to. If you get any north of this or west of this, like Pittsburgh is still probably one of the whitest cities in the entire country, just because no one wants to drive past these mountains. Oh, by the way, the Poconos is like the end of the map in the video game analogy for anyone on the East Coast. They don't know Pennsylvania goes past the Pocono Mountains, which is on the east side. We're actually really insulated in that way, unless you're down in Harrisburg, unfortunately.
The Pocono Mountains are definitely fun to drive through. I got caught in a blizzard driving through them one year, which was a harrowing experience, but I can understand why people don't try to live around there. So your territory it extends down to York and beyond. Where are the boundaries between you and your brother chapters?
That's a good question. Probably Allentown is Allentown is a massive logistics hub that serves New York and Philadelphia and all these places. So probably any west of that is us. And then if you get out to past Altoona, that's probably we'd say that's the Pittsburgh guys.
Okay, so anyone in that central corridor, you know who to call. What are the so obviously you've got transplants coming into Harrisburg and York, and they're trying to inshitify the place with their so I guess when we say transplants in the north, Melon, you're making it sound like they're mostly like you said, heritage Americans, but Sloppy Joe Stalin, is the South being Jeetified?
Well, actually, it's a different flavor of Jeet. We actually have a lot of Nepalese, the people of Nepal, and Himalayans and all them. I don't really know why they're infiltrating Harrisburg so much. I can tell you in the last decade that there were, maybe one or two grocery stores, normal grocery stores, and they have been turned into Nepali grocery stores in the past 10 years. 3 of them have sprouted up. So there is a very real demographic shift going on, and I'm sure somebody is behind it. I don't want to give away too many details, but it is a coordinated effort, and it is 100% ethnic replacement.
Yeah, there are there are areas like right outside of Harrisburg proper, the city, that used to be mainly kind of predominantly black, but now there are just blocks and blocks of Nepalese themselves. There's one area named Lawton right outside of Harrisburg where a lot of them are located, and they actually converted a Pizza Hut into a strip club. So just to give you an idea of the kind of the taste that these people have.
Does the strip club still have the pizza buffet, or did they swap that out?
I'm proud to say that I haven't been in there, so maybe they do, but I don't know.
Okay, that is very bizarre. You wouldn't expect the mountain peoples of Nepal to be dumped into the valleys of Pennsylvania. Now, I'm not expecting anyone here to be a Nepalese focused anthropologist, but you already gave us a hint of what the culture is like that they're bringing. Like what else are you seeing from their them kind of flooding in?
They're big fans of gambling. I've noticed They if you see them at a gym or something, they wear collared shirts and like jeans, um, um, uh, that type of thing. They don't smell great, and a lot of them smoke. Those are things that I've noticed myself.
All right. So about what you'd expect from East Asians, better or worse than the Jeep Menace?
That's a tough one, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's tough.
All right. Well, enough of that. Like this is something that's become a running theme. Every chapter we have on mentions how their area is being enshittified by multiculturalism.
Well, wait a minute.
And I suppose that.
Did you say Nepalese are mountain people? Maybe this explains why they're here, because maybe they intend to send them into the... Look at all those mountains. Can they survive the climate better than the Indians? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, they're up in the Himalayas.
So they're like custom building our replacements for the respective states now. That's awesome, man. They're really good at this. Anyway.
Well, they have been at this for a long time, but enough about that. So I don't expect you'll be getting a lot of interest in a Heritage American club from the new arrivals, but I guess it's something to keep an eye on. So you guys recently had a Christmas party, and I know that's something that a lot of people in the OGC, a lot of our chapters are putting on Christmas parties. Could you tell us a little bit about how that went?
Yeah, actually. So at some point last year, we started breaking off certain things into like subcommittee type things. And we appointed a member of our chapter who was, he showed a keen interest in organizing events, and he really was kind of an expert at traveling around Central PA. I guess it's a hobby of his, and he knew a lot about history. So he actually took the workload of organizing events off of the 5 officers, and he managed to find a nice place not far off the Susquehanna River, and not far overall for most of our members. It was relatively affordable to rent for 4 hours. And then, we put the word out. We had the bat signal. We got men from Mingo Creek. We got some men from Delaware Crossing. We even had some brothers who lived in Maryland. And we had, I think between 20 and 30 people in total. And it was, I handled the entertainment, and I kind of did I was the Dean Martin for the night. I was playing some records, and we actually had our vice president did a nice brief piano recital. And it turned out great. I think all of our wives were very impressed. I think the gentlemen who came the extra distance, I think they were welcomed with open arms. Sadly, Melon, you didn't make it.
I got abducted by the Virginians, man. It wasn't my fault. I'll be at the next one.
Bela, do you want to add anything about that?
Yeah, I think it went great. You did a great job of emceeing it, providing some humor. We had a good itinerary of different things, but I think overall the kind of the best thing was the women, the wives, the fiancés, being able to meet each other. I thought the way we did the kind of the bingo gift exchange thing was a great idea. It was a lot of fun. The women battling against what gifts they wanted and trading back and forth. So it created a lot of camaraderie and forced people to meet each other and talk. So yeah, I think it was a great thing.
Well, now it's interesting that you mentioned women, because I've been reliably informed that every single person, in the OGC and on the right in general is an incel. So I, beyond this being completely absurd. How did that whole thing work out? You guys don't obviously allow Spurgs in, but you get some guys from other chapters. Did the dynamic work out well?
Yeah, let me tell you, when you get an entire room of well-dressed, sharp, intelligent, and handsome gentlemen, and you bring all their gorgeous, well-dressed wives, I mean, it's exactly why they hate us, because we just have we have within us that certain elegance that they all regrettably, they all wish they had it. They will say all sorts of evil things about us, but nah, we're all just normal heritage Americans. I mean, we're all good people. We're all pillars of our community. And yeah, the women were I didn't really get a chance to talk a lot. I mean, we are not there's not really any talk about politics, but the women were getting a little feisty with some of the bingo prizes. It was actually it was our president's idea. We did a white elephant bingo. So as we were playing bingo, we basically played until every card was a blackout. But every time somebody got a new bingo, they could swap gifts, and it got pretty bloodthirsty.
Well, that's great. I hope that I hope that there weren't any cat fights, but if there were, I hope you guys got them on camera. But no, this is great. Our friend and OGC founding member, though many don't know that, Dave Green, Dave the Distributist, has said recently that the right is incapable of throwing parties that the left would be embarrassed to not be a part of. And I think that is incorrect. I think perhaps Dave was talking about the neocons and the establishment right, but I think that this is a proof positive that we've got it going on here. So I'm glad to hear that. Do you guys have any other social events like that are more open planned? I know that we're still in the Christmas season and New Year's isn't far off, so a lot of people are going to be busy, but do you guys have anything in the works for that?
Not that we can, not super fleshed out, but what seems to work is an event that doesn't have our name attached, that like what broader spheres can go to. I've noticed some other of our guys have had success with that. So keep tuned for the future for that. And we're in a very good position to do it because it is kind of novel for the guys on the East Coast to drive out here, and it's not that far. I mean, maybe New England, I haven't seen much of it, but there's not a whole lot of wide open space on the East Coast, and I think a lot of people would like coming out for an event like that. And we can also bring in people from the West. We're sort of like bridging two population centers in that way.
Yeah, at least from the Midwest, and that would be great to see more cross-pollination between the chapters, especially if you can get your Philly guys to cross the Poconos in bad weather, or the Pittsburgh guys. Forgive me.
Well, the Pittsburgh guys can drive in the snow. I'm not so sure about those New Jersey guys. I love them, but I don't know, man. It's anyway.
Well, the Jersey guys, there's a lot of areas in central PA, I remember, that have signs that say watch for falling rocks. And anybody who's learned to drive in New Jersey is very good at dodging oncoming projectiles. So I think they'd be all right.
Yeah, very much so. Also, there's deer, which are just heat-seeking missiles. Like they'll just incredibly efficient animals at destroying your car.
Yeah, they're just bred different. But you guys had mentioned that you put together various subcommittees, and obviously right now you have 10 members, which a doubling of your membership within 6 months, 7 months, maybe 8. That's still a great showing. But with the subcommittees, is this kind of, how do you structure them? Do you say this is what you're in charge of, now you have carte blanche, or do you have ideas that you then farm out to the subcommittees?
So most of the main decisions are still decided by the officers, We still pretty much decide the time and date, more or less. And then we kind of coordinate with the subcommittee, like, oh, this is my idea. What do you think of that? And then we give them, and then they kind of handle the rollout. Like we kind of get to be like the final decision, I guess. And then it just kind of took off the plate the part like where it was like, we're simultaneously, for example, like if one of the guys has to do the social media, that's a lot on his plate where he's doing social media, and then also on top of whatever he does in his normal life, trying to figure out the extra stuff. So that's kind of where we figured out that was like the sweet spot. We'll give, the committee has a specific goal. The officers have the primary responsibility of making the decisions, and then from there it's kind of handled by the committees responsible.
Also, a lot of people just have a natural talent for certain things, and we'll make it known, and then you pick that guy. I mean, that seems to be the way that a lot of stuff works out.
So with the natural talent angle, is that something that you you wait for your chapter member to announce, or is it something you kind of suss out from your guys?
Well, the one I'm thinking of blew up the president's phone with text, and then turned out to be really good at what he was asking to do. So that one was really easy, and he does a great job.
All right, so far they've come screaming out of the woodwork.
He's very good. He's very good. Yeah.
I mean, that's great. So you shared Melon, you shared another map with us, which I thought had a very interesting landmark on it. And if the producer will pull up that map, Melon, could you tell us a little bit about Negro Mountain?
So this is something the Southerners had to tell me exists, because apparently they make a pilgrimage up to Negro Mountain for vacations. Shout out to Chief Slingin' Beef. And Negro Mountain was a site where in 1756, I think, a white man or a group of them with who had a laborer with them fell upon by some Indians and fought them off. But in the battle, the Negro laborer guy and a compatriot, honorable dude, fell in battle protecting his squad. And to honor this man, they named him Negro Mountain. They named it Negro Mountain. And it's still, and you know what? Because of this story, they haven't been able to rename it either, because they would be like damning this guy's memory if they did it. So, yeah, we have this lovely landmark, and it's still there. It survived all of 2020 and all of that.
Yeah, I mean that's very impressive. I can only imagine the amount of kvetching that comes when anybody realizes that there's a Negro Mountain. And shout outs to the Nathaniel Green Society. I think that they had a mountain in North Carolina that was another N word that sadly did not
they got rid of, flew too close to the sun, man. Flew too close to the sun.
Yeah. But I'm sure that there have been attempts to rename Negro Mountain in the past. There's no way it's escaped the ire of these sorts of people.
No, and my understanding is the local government and a whole bunch of organizations said, no, you're not doing it.
No, so they have brought challenges.
They tried.
The noble Negro name.
They tried to take Negro Mountain away from us, but it didn't work. The local governments of Somerset County and Garrett County, so Maryland actually has some authority over this. The Pennsylvania State Geographic Names Authority, the Maryland State Archives, the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Resources, they all circled the wagons around Negro Mountain and said, no, this line and no further. You're not taking this from us.
Well, I mean, that's that brings a tear to the eye, if nothing else. So this was the mountain that I referred to earlier, that your Mingo Creek Society brothers actually lay claim to. What say you? Whose territory does Negro Mountain fall into?
It's ours. They don't. It's our mountain. They can't have it. They ain't got no right using it. It's ours. You can't have it. No.
That's wonderful. So you said that there's good vacationing up there?
It is actually beautiful, is my understanding. I haven't physically been there. I'm a long ways away from it, but yeah, the Southerners, some of the ones in our spheres, go up there for like a few days and camp there. Is my understanding. And there's a giant sign that has its name on it on the highway too, which is awesome.
Yeah, God bless Negro Mountain. May the shitlibs never take it from us. So besides your state's namesake mountain, I think the only other thing that people talk about or think about when they talk about Pennsylvania, obviously there's Philly, for not so flattering reasons, and Pittsburgh is I think pretty far down on the list of things that people think about. But big chocolate. You guys have the biggest chocolate lobby in the world right there in Pennsylvania. I actually don't know if that's true. Are you guys close to the big chocolate headquarters?
Yeah, I mean, where I'm located. It takes me about 15 minutes to get to Hershey itself. I can be at the park in about 15 minutes. I'm not sure about Sloppy Joe.
Yeah. It's kind of a rite of passage if you're growing up in Central PA. You got to visit Hershey Park every summer. There's a certain number of things you have to do. And that's just like, there's so much about it. And I mean, yeah, Milton Hershey's probably the most famous guy from Central PA. I'm actually working on a Substack article about this, but I can tell you a little briefly about it. He's an interesting guy, didn't have any kids of his own. He's kind of like the chocolate Henry Ford, or maybe more like an Andrew Carnegie. So what he ended up doing is, with all the wealth that he made from chocolate, he created a town, named it for himself, and he did it for the people there. He didn't, try to kind of like one of those things Stormy Waters always talks about, like our great men used to be so much greater than they are today. Hershey was not taking the wealth from Central PA for himself. He was making the families that lived here better. And since he didn't have any children of his own, the entirety of his wealth went to a trust. And now that trust owns the theme park. The trust owns the chocolate business. And the most importantly, the trust owns a school. And originally, the Milton Hershey School was only for white boys. It was a white boy only school, and it was only for orphans, and they had to be from Pennsylvania. And regrettably, with the law changes and all that, you couldn't do that. So now it's just kind of a ratchet school, and all the kids hate Hershey because he was a racist, because he only made it for the white boys originally. Oh, and he was sexist because it was only for the boys. But yeah, he was kind of like he was a figure that, I wish we had someone like that now. He was he was our guy. He was looking out for our people, the Heritage Americans. And, now his memory is just kind of terrible. And I mean, it has the endowment for the school is as big as some colleges. I mean, it's right up there in like the top 30. It's like, I don't know how big Harvard's is, but it's not far behind. So yeah, pretty crazy.
I think Harvard's endowment is something like 100 billion. So I don't know if it is quite, I mean, maybe it is that high, but yeah, I mean, that's a very sad story. It seems like Hershey got the Ford treatment, and he was very much like Ford. Payload, would you got something on that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I can't wait till Sloppy Joe's article comes out. But yeah, I mean, I have some experience in like dealing with um, the products from Milton Hershey School as of now and recently. I mean, yeah, I mean it's every shade of brown that comes out of there now. They're entitled. They essentially can not perform well in school and still get all of their college paid for. Yeah, so it's just producing the worst of the worst, and they can have a chip on their shoulder as well because they came out of a trust fund that allows them to go to college too. So it's a real shame how that school has turned out now.
Yeah, I mean, this seems to be, again, the sickness anywhere in the country is the same sickness as everywhere else. I mean, it's conquest second law, right? Any organization that is not explicitly right wing will eventually become left wing. But in this case, civil rights law. We have the Civil Rights Act once again to thank for this sort of thing. But people are familiar with the Ford Foundation and how it was, I believe, Henry Ford's grandson who was essentially tricked into democratizing, or nagged into democratizing the Ford Foundation, which turned it into the behemoth doing evil around the world that it is today. Was it something similar with the Hershey Trust?
Yeah, there's a lot of intrigue on the board of trustees there. I'm not going to go into it. I don't know all the details. There's been a lot of drama there. It's its own little kingdom. The people that live around there. I mean, right after the park and right after the chocolate company is a giant hospital. And it's a pretty giant hospital. I mean, hospitals in general in Pennsylvania are huge employers. Yeah, so whenever they get the local township kind of gets to control and appoint, and there's been some coups over the year, revolutions of, kick out these trustees, put in new people. Yeah, it's an interesting story. I don't even have all the details yet. That's why I'm still working on it. But yeah, it's just a shame. It's so sad to think about.
Yeah, I mean, it should be something that I think energizes us too, because our country and our people are foundationally good at heart, and it's taken 100 years of deliberate infiltration and revisionism and propaganda to get us to where we're at. And once those apparatuses falter and fail, which we are seeing them do, we're going to go back to our default. And I think that might be closer than a lot of people think. So when you're looking at something like the legacy of Milton Hershey and his company town, it's something that that we're going to be able to build again in the future. So I think that those are good stories to keep close to your heart and to pass down, that the Hershey School wasn't always a crack house, a crack den for underprivileged youths.
Yeah, and this is another big problem with the Rust Belt is these people have been largely disconnected from their history, and if you fix that, a lot of things in their lives fix very quickly. Actually, it really is just horrible what's been done to them.
Yeah, undoing the deracination is definitely a generational project. But actually, this you'd mentioned something, Melon, that you wanted to talk about the absolute state of this phenomena known as the Hicklib.
I think Sloppy might be an expert at that, actually.
Well, I'm not an expert. We were talking about it in one of our calls the other night, and it's just kind of when you grow up in Central PA, I know for me, I had one of three options. I could have been a preppy kid, I could have been a wigger, or I could have been a not quite hicklib, but I could have been like a fake country boy, because there are guys around here who, not grown up in the South, kind of get this affectation of being Southern. And like, they're good old boys, but I mean, they're not based. They're not the Southern guys.
Yeah, we was Southerners.
Yeah, there's there are counties above. Harrisburg is in Dauphin County, but if you go to the northern part of Dauphin County and you go into Juniata and Perry County and places like that, there's this like odd thing where these guys have like these put on Southern accents for no reason. I don't know if it's from years from listening to country music. And we have our share of guys driving around and jacked up Ford F-150s with "We the People" or the Pledge of Allegiance plastered to the back of the rear view mirror, rear view back mirror. But a lot of these guys won't be able to fight their way out of a paper bag. They think that how much beer you drink on the weekend is like some kind of masculinity or something. So to kind of Melon's point, our culture, the Nuremberg Civil Rights regime, has kind of just taken our best people and just really deracinated them. And unfortunately, they saw the ghettoization and the liberalization of what was going on in America, but then they just turned to the easiest thing, which was also fed to them, garbage country music and sports ball and, getting drunk on the weekend, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's directionally correct in that they want to pick like the opposite of what is being fed to them. But you know how like Sun Tzu says, leave a golden path to retreat down? Well, they leave this route of being like a fake redneck when in reality,
Yes.
like you're the descendant of factory worker Yankees,
right?
Which would be more dignified if they actually knew where they came from. And this is a problem we have to correct and we're working on, because they do get it pretty quick after you explain this stuff to them. Actually,
yeah, the whole culture of like the coal cracker has just disappeared in Central PA, because that was what we were. Our people were, digging mines. That's kind of what we were all about.
Yeah, and I think even though it has slipped out of the popular consciousness, when people think about coal miners, they think of very tough men with very rough hands and not a lot to say. Is that like an image that's been completely lost from coal country?
It kind of still exists where I'm at, but that's probably because of all the Germans. Weirdly, the underspokenness. I know what you're talking about, and this is kind of another reason the fake redneck thing is bad, is because they teach them to be like performatively loud, but not get anything done. Does that make sense? Because the Southerners,
very boisterous.
Yeah, the Southerners have the real thing, and we're not that. We need to reconnect to what we actually are. Yeah. I think the younger guys. Sorry, the younger guys get it though. I think we have a good future ahead of us. It's just we need to do the work of reconnecting them to what they actually are.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the younger guys, what's the demographic age makeup of the Order of Aquilifers at this moment?
Counting prospects, it's mostly young millennials, and then there's some like 23-ish-year-old Zoomers who are all like Stone Choir enjoyers.
Yeah, we have
pretty based.
We have the based boomer, and he's awesome. We have the the former libertarians that are older and have come to this point where they kind of realize, like, the Pete Quinones enjoyers, they've been on that road, and then the base zoomers, and that's kind of the spectrum.
Yeah, I mean, one of these things that makes a lot of sense to me. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of Gen X representation within the Old Glory Club, although that may be because a lot of us identify Gen Xers, especially the older ones, as being boomers incorrectly. I don't know how old the youngest boomer is, but it's not that young. Actually, I'm gonna look that up right now because I've never looked this up before.
Well, we actually have the youngest boomer. He likes to point out he made it into the boomer generation by like 2 days.
Yeah, that actually. So
yeah,
he single-handedly got me to say not all boomers when I addressed that generation, because if you've survived this whole thing and your mind is intact and you understand what's going on, that's like surviving a war. Like you know how like old, I don't want to call them old, but it's very impressive to get through the insane amount of social engineering that time period was put through and emerge on the other side intact, and I have a lot of respect for it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you find the rare boomer that is based, they're the best. There's not a ton of them, but when they are based, they're the best people.
Yeah, that's something that we younger guys, and being a core millennial, I can't really say that I'm a younger guy anymore, but we had the benefit of the internet. The boomers and the Gen Xers didn't really have the internet during their formative years, which is something that we shouldn't hold against them, because it is, that's why we're all here, because of the internet, which is itself its own problem, but that's why we're breaking it. We're getting together and meeting in person.
Yeah, I'm actually noticing a trend where all of the terminally online sort of negative traits that we had when some of us were younger, I won't say all of us, I definitely did for a period, and now that's affecting older people, and they have like no resistance to it. Have you noticed this? It's almost like we're gonna have to save them from that. It's like the alcohol arriving on the new world, and they have no inbuilt resistance to it, like the Indian. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, this kind of generational inversion has been something that people have talked about, especially people on the right, who have, to use an older nomenclature, who have taken the red pill, is that it's, the job of the millennials to protect their boomer parents from the hard truths of the world, almost like they were children. So this taking that generational inversion and applying it to like the internet. Yeah, I absolutely see that, because you guys mentioned the base boomer is a rare thing, but what's even more rare is a base boomer who hasn't been one-shotted by like any given conspiracy theory. We all fall down the rabbit hole, and we're all shocked by the lies that we've been told, and it kind of causes us all a sort of a spiral. But whereas we younger guys have the benefit of time and
Payload,
experience on the internet,
Okay.
kind of suss that out.
Can you hear Payload? NotMeNotYou?
No, I can't.
No, reconnect, my friend. Although we're almost out of time here.
Yeah, I'm actually going to do that myself. I'll be right back.
Okay, so what did we miss, guys? We covered the fake rednecks. We covered we covered the Holy Mount Negro. We covered the Amish.
Can you guys hear me now?
I can. Can you?
Yes, I think it was just not me, not you. Couldn't hear Payload, but
Yeah.
Melon. Perhaps they're bringing in the Sherpas to get Negro Mountain.
Oh, dude, we can't let that happen. We have to protect Negro Mountain. They're gonna scale it and take it over.
Shit mountain.
Oh, yeah, okay. I can hear you now.
No, that's
Payload.
the one they left in Nepal. That's Everest is the shit mountain.
Yeah, they left that to come here.
Yeah, so sorry, I don't know if I cut out in the middle of what I was saying, but yes, Melon, to answer your question, I do see the generational inversion.
I don't hear.
Oh, now Sloppy can't hear you, Kurt, or NotMeNotYou.
All right, I'll reload.
Yeah, this is going to be a round robin of reloads. But yeah, so while we're working on that, we'll just do the super chats. Christopher Burks 458 for $2 sends a salute. We salute you, sir. It's always good to see you in here. FM Dawn Browning Hoyt, our very favorite Aussie, sends us $10 Australian with a super sticker of an anthropomorphic hippo who spins his baseball cap backwards and gives a thumbs up. I thank you very much, Dawn. I appreciate your approval. Very cool. Very cool. And finally, the J Forte, Sheets Supremacy. Indeed.
Yes.
If you have not availed yourself of a Sheets, you are wrong and must make a recompense post haste. But I mean, this kind of goes to a big discussion about the deracination. You know, we're arguing about regional gas station chains. But
no, it is like seriously. This is what will end friendships in Pennsylvania: is which gas station slop you eat, and that's not a joke. So we've got some work to do because that's what's animating people right now.
Yeah, that's definitely a microcosm of you know, a greater societal ill that the Old Glory Club is seeking to rectify in its own way, though we do not have the propaganda apparatus under control yet. We're doing what we can with what we have. So we are coming up on time, and I do this with all of our guests. But if we can go around and you know, give us something that you some great lesson that you learned putting together this chapter or being a part of it, something that you didn't have before that you'd like to communicate to your fellow OGC brothers, what would that be? And we'll start with you, Melon.
I would just say you need to physically go see the parts of your state. I understand a lot more about. I mean, Philly's mostly Anglos. I learned, and then you've got a completely different, you know, character of people. It just makes you make a lot more sense in the world if you visit your entire state in person. You can read about it all you want, but you have to see it. That's what I would say.
Mr. Sloppy Joe Stalin.
So it was mentioned during the East Coast Forum, and it really rings true following this most recent Christmas event, is that we can just do things. It really is our own imagination that limits us. I know whenever it's just 10 of our members going to a restaurant, we're all dressed in suits, everyone just treats us so much better than if you were just like walking around like a slob. When you and your brothers are out together and you are working together in unison, there's really no limit. You can accomplish so much more than if you're just, you know, one guy in a hut typing, you know. So that's what I've really learned.
Amen to that. And Payload, what you gonna drop on us?
Yeah, Sloppy Joe stole mine, but yes, you know, we say you can just do things, but you really can just do things. You know, for myself, I started a Substack, and I didn't think it was going to go anywhere, and it's kind of grown gradually. So, it's not just necessarily writing; it's really anything. Develop yourself so that you can provide services, you know, to your brothers, your family, everything like that, and also take care of the person in front of you. You know, don't make the world too big. You got enough people that you can take care of in your immediate circle, and just do the best that you can, taking care of those people.
Yeah, sage advice. Stop thinking, start doing. And if you are still on the fence about joining the Old Glory Club, get off the fence. But I want to thank you guys for joining us. That's the Order of Aquilifers in Central Pennsylvania. Do you guys have where can the people find you?
It's at Central Penn OGC on Twitter, or just type in the name, the Order of Aquilifers.
Beautiful. You can catch some of these guys on other podcasts. Make sure to check out all the podcasts in the OGC space. There are so many now that you'll never be able to sleep, but you'll learn so much that you won't need to. Make sure to check out Pony Express Radio every Thursday, 8 p.m. on the YouTubes, on the Twitters, and on, I believe, the Rumbles. And American Spirits every Monday, also at 8 p.m., where you can learn what it means to be an American. This is our last broadcast of the year 2025. Order of Aquilifers sending us out with a bang. But joining us in the first week of January is the St. Louis Voyageurs from Missouri, the great state of Missouri. That will be January 7th. And we will see all of you in the new year.